All right, it is Anishinaabe time. And an introduction to the show, I am Chaz Wagner from Nett Lake, Indian Reservation, Minnesota. All right, so what is Anishinaabe Time? Anishinaabe Time is a Ojibwe language and cultural podcast, and it has the teachings of here in Nett Lake. I know some of the other communities have different teachings, but this is the language of Bois Fort, Nett Lake. Also, the different communities have a different dialect, and we might get into that in some of the later episodes. Introductions in the Ojibwe culture are very important to address who we are, not only to people, but also in our prayers and our ceremonies. That's the first thing that we do. We always introduce ourselves, who we are, where we're from, what our clan is. So with how important introductions are, I will introduce myself in my native language, the Ojibwe language. Buju and Dinawe Maganadug, Giniw Giizhig and Dijniakaz, Zabikwane Zagayagun and Duanjaba, Megizina Duadem, Nimitana, Ashiniswe, Nibabuna Giz, Niminwandan Ayan Oma, Mityu, Miigwich, Bizendawiyug. And I just introduced myself, Giniw Giizhig. I am Chaz Wagner. I'm from Nett Lake, Minnesota. Megizina Duadem. I'm from the Eagle clan. I am happy to be here, and thank you all for listening. I've pretty much lived on the Nett Lake Indian Reservation almost my whole life. I am very rooted in my culture. I am a Bois Fort drum keeper, the lead singer on the Bois Fort drum. I'm a traditional dancer. I am a traditional pipe carrier and a speaker of the Ojibwe language. I also have a Native American rock band called War Bonnet. I'm currently employed at KBFT Bois Fort Tribal Community Radio here in Nett Lake. I am a DJ, as well as I put together language and cultural-based events for the community. I'll talk a little bit about growing up here in Nett Lake as a Zabikwane Zagayagun. At a very young age, probably before kindergarten, I remember my great-grandmother and my grandmother speaking the language. My great-grandmother barely spoke English, if she spoke English at all. I remember her just speaking strictly Ojibwe, and my grandmother, she is now 90. She's the oldest living member in Bois Fort now, and the most fluent language speaker probably that's ever lived here. A few years ago, they did placement tests for all the elders here in Nett Lake, and she placed the highest of all the elders that tested. There's only 5 fluent speakers left here in Bois Fort. Of the 5, they are elders over the age of 70. But my grandmother had the highest ranking score of all the elders here. Again, that was just a few years ago they did that. She's my go-to person. Whenever I speak the language to her and we have a conversation, her whole face and her whole being just light up. The elders say once you learn the language and you start speaking the language, then all these good things follow the language. They also say that the spirits listen to the language more than the other languages. But I live next door to my grandmother, and she's my go-to person. If I have any questions about the language, or just if I need somebody to talk to in the language, she's there. Well, it's really important that the people of Bois Fort learn their language. We need this now more than ever. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to start this podcast, to have another means to reach out to people that want to learn it. People will have the opportunity to listen to the show at any time on any device, because I want this to be available everywhere. So download it, stream it, and use it. Put it on for your kids, for your children. This is going to be a show for all ages. Children especially, they need to hear the language. It's important. They're the ones that are going to be able to learn it the easiest. Play this when you have a little bit of free time, before bed, while you're driving, while you're at the gym. Put it on in the background. All right, so this will be a mini introductory segment to the show. The reason why a mini segment is a result of the coronavirus. I won't be able to get out and about to interview people right now as I am social distancing myself, and I'll probably end up doing a few solo shows before we pick up with the regular episodes. I wanted to interview elders in the community, and I wanted to give them an opportunity to get online and to get on the airwaves and to document their language and their dialect. It will feature stories of Nett Lake. It will feature the language of Nett Lake and the Nett Lake elders. I will also be working on vlogging and creating videos online on YouTube of language-based pieces and a documentary on my life here in Nett Lake. Here's why I wanted to call the podcast Anishinaabe Time. You've heard the term Indian time, and it's always been used in a negative context and in a stereotypical sense. I want to break down those stereotypes, but you've heard of things like, oh, well, the Indian is always late and they're lazy, things like that. But on the contrary, that is so untrue. Oh yeah, the Indian is always on Indian time, but Anishinaabe time, it is our time to be proud. It is our time to learn our language. It is our time to practice our traditions. We are in a good place now where we can practice our culture again. Also, Anishinaabe time, it's when the time that things are meant to happen in a good, positive way. Okay, we'll get into a little bit of language. So we always introduce ourselves with bonjour, bonjour. So bonjour means hello, and it's like a greeting, a formal greeting. Hello, bonjour. Some people think the Ojibwe stole that from the French. No, they didn't. The French say bonjour. Bonjour is French. There is a Manitou, or a spirit that the Ojibwe speak of the most, Nanabuju. And Nanabuju is a teacher. Some call him a trickster, but there are many, many, many stories and teachings and legends of Nanabuju. For years, the Ojibwe looked for the spirit Nanabuju. He could appear in different forms, but most often he would appear as a person. So the Anishinaabe people, whenever they greeted each other, they would ask the other person, "Are you Nanabuju?" But it just got shortened to Buju, meaning, "Are you Nanabuju?" So they greeted each other with Buju, meaning, "Are you Nanabuju?" Anin. A lot of people think Anin is hello. Anin means what? Like what? What are you looking at? Or no, it doesn't mean that, but it just kind of means like what? What do you want? Anin. What? So as we're greeting somebody, you could always ask a simple question like this. Anin ejinakazo yan? Anin ejinakazo yan? What is your name? Anin ejinakazo yan? And then someone would reply, Indigenakaz. Indigenakaz. Chaz Indigenakaz. Chaz is my name. Indigenakaz. Chaz Indigenakaz. Chaz is my name. Miigwech. Miigwech means thanks. Or thank you. Miigwechawiya. Miigwechawiya. Thank them. Miigwechawiya. Thank someone. Miigwechawiya. Miigwechawiyag. Wiag. Plural. Thanking them. Eya. Eya means yes. Gawin. Gawin means no. Please follow the show Anishinaabe Time on Facebook, on YouTube, and Apple Podcast. More shows coming soon. So I just want to say, Giniw Giizhig, Gigawabamin Minowa. Have a good day. I will see you again. This work is funded in part by the Minnesota Humanities Center with money from the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund that was created with the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008.